Welcome, everyone. Today, we're having the podcast in English. So it's a little bit of a switch for me and Mike to do it in English today, but I'm very excited to introduce you to Celia. Welcome, Celia.
Thank you, Saya and Mike. So happy to be here with you. And thank you for doing it in English.
Yes, of course.
I'm not speaking Dutch yet, but yeah, it's
No, no.
slowly coming.
Yes, yes, and it's also it's good because I had the comment of some people who live in Belgium but don't speak the Dutch language yet,
Mm,
like, oh, could you do a podcast in English? So this is perfect actually.
perfect.
Like,
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, now we have an English version.
Yeah, exactly. So that's checked off. No, great. So Celia, you are a human design analyst and you are a coach in neuroscience.
Yes.
Let's just talk a little bit about that. Tell us, what do you do?
Yes. So basically, I combine on one side neuroscience. So it's really how our brain functions. Why do we have fears? Why do we have emotions? How can we work around them? And on the other side, I work with human design, which is a system that is part science and part spirituality. And I basically combine both systems to help people find their purpose and align to their true selves, to have a better impact and to help them grow financially.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Yeah. I really love the fact that you combine like science with spirituality. Like
Yes.
a lot of people think those fields are super separate
Yes.
and apart
Yes.
from each other, but it's actually really nice to see that you can also combine it and like harmonize the
Exactly.
two.
Yeah,
I
it brings
mean,
both worlds together.
exactly. And actually, it's very close also to who I am. And because I tend to have both sides in me very strongly. So on one side, I'm like super pragmatic. I love to analyze things. I have a very like structured brain. And on the other side, I a lot into energies, into the universe, and how we exchange energies with people, and how to tune a bit into the wisdom of our body. So get out a bit of the intellectual mind and the proof, and just like so I had it in me, I think, my whole life. And so I was like, why can't we actually combine both? Because you're totally right, Saya. Often people tend to be scientific and not believe at all into everything that is like going into the area of spirituality. Or on the other side, people are very, very spiritual and they tend to reject a bit the scientific things. So I was like, okay, actually, both can be combined. And it's also the essence of human design, because human design also combines both aspects. So, on the science part of human design, we have quantum physics, we have biochemistry, we have the DNA system. And on the spiritual side, we have classical astrology, we have the I Ching, we have the Kabbalah, and we have the chakra system, so the different energy centers in our bodies. So there are very different belief systems going into one system. And I think that's what really drew me to human design, because usually also there's only one way of thinking. People believe only in one truth. And what I really liked with human design is that there are different belief systems going into one. So it actually analyzes people in a multi-dimensional way. So we look at people from different angles and we just come back to the essence of who they are. So it's not like, okay, you do a personality test and those are your strengths and those are your weaknesses, and that's it. So it goes way, way deeper. And to that, I add neuroscience, because we tend to have a lot of limiting beliefs and we tend to be stuck in our ego, so in our mind, with a lot of fears and a lot of past trauma. And so I help basically people rewire the brain into a positive mindset and to expand a bit their minds. So they also are capable of aligning to their true selves. So it's basically these two systems I use, and I've seen amazing results on my clients by using both systems. So yeah, I'm super, super happy to see how it evolves and how clients also bloom and really come back to who they really are and have more impact and find their purpose. So both together are really, really powerful, actually.
Yes, that's really amazing. Like, and really fascinating how it all
Yeah.
works, and like the
Yeah.
different the different inputs of human
Yes.
design. Yeah, that's
Yes.
really great. Because like you are part of the This Is Yaya team,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Um,
So the fun fact is I had Julie as a client
okay.
to do her
Oh,
human design
interesting.
analysis. Yes. And we directly clicked. It was like, okay, it's super strange what is happening, because usually I tend to attract clients with whom I naturally go along with, but Julie, it was like it instantly clicked, and she already had the idea of This Is Yaya, but it was a bit in back of her head. She didn't really know. And what was amazing is that the purpose of a human design was building a community of like-minded people that would like serve people on a larger scale. And it was actually her idea, and we just confirmed it with with her analysis. So it was amazing because it really helped her like say, okay, now I'm super confident into this idea, let's put it into reality. And that's how she was like, okay, I want you on my team. And that's how we started working together and be part of the Yaya adventure.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And Mike and Saya, who do you know from This Is Yaya initially? Julie or Steven or
So we first met Steven.
okay.
So I met Steven through I did entrepreneurs course, and
Ah,
one of
nice.
his friends was in it, and
Okay.
he said like, "Hey, I know someone who might be interesting for your podcast," and then he brought me into contact with Steven, and then through Steven, no, wait, Mike, you already knew Julie, right?
I already knew Julie, yes.
Okay. Wow, the world is small. Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know Steven because the first time I saw him and got to know him was when he came to our podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, but Julie, I already knew, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
How did you meet Julie again?
Uh,
Mike, yeah.
No,
I
Mike.
through one of her best friends.
Ah,
Mm,
right. Yeah, yeah.
very
Yeah.
nice.
And then everything linked together
Yeah.
Yeah.
again.
But also, I mean, I love the idea of your podcast. I think it's very, even the name is great. It's
Yeah,
a very like no,
thank you.
it's a really, really good project you have.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
Yeah, and
congratulations on that. Um,
I think the podcast, I think it started something very beautiful and something that's going to be, yeah, something that is our purpose for in the
yeah,
future.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay, great. So Celia, you talked a little bit about the background of human design and how it combines spirituality with
Mm,
science.
mm,
Maybe we can dive a little bit deeper into the whole
mm,
human design concept
mm.
because um, I think like some people who already know human design know it exists of energy types as well.
Yes, yes,
So you have like different energy types, like different categories you can fall into.
yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the energy types to begin
Mhm.
with, maybe?
Yes, with pleasure. So, and it's a very good question, Saya, because it's the entry point in human design.
Mhm.
Because as I was telling you, human design, it's like, whoa, it's so, so deep. I have been into it for years and I'm still learning because it really goes into so many different layers. And so it's true that if you want to start with human design, the best way is to start with your energy type. So basically, your energy type is in human design is how you use physically energy during the day, how you consume your energy, and on a more spiritual level, how you exchange energy with others. And so you have 5 different energy types. You have on one side energetic beings. So it is people that consistently have energy in them. For example, both of you as manifesting generators, you tend to have a lot of energy, and you can go, 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 go. And then on the other side, you have non-energetic beings. So it's people that won't have this resource of energy in them, and their energy will be a bit more into ebbs and flows. So they won't have this consistent flow of energy. So on the side of the energetic beings, you have generators that represent approximately 30% of the population. Then you have manifesting generators that represent also approximately 30% of the population. And then on the other side, on the side of the non-energetic beings, you have projectors that represent approximately 20% of the population. Then you have manifestors. For example, Julie is a manifester. She represents 10% of the population. And then we have reflectors that are super, super rare. And those represent approximately 2 to 3% of the population. And so generators and manifesting generators, I will put it a bit in bigger lines, are people that basically have a very beautiful purpose because they are supposed to engage with life in a very fun, playful, easygoing way. So it's basically you need to a bit respond to life, so to opportunities, to people you meet, to what you see a bit around you. And you just need to engage with life in a very energetic and fun way. So those are people that often are very, very attractive, magnetic, because there are like big, big sunshines. Like people want a bit their energy. So maybe it's something you already noticed, Mike and Saya, being both of you manifesting generators, that people are somehow attracted to you and you can't really explain why. Like people gravitate a bit around you and they're like, wow, it's so cool to be around Saya and Mike because they feel like energized and pumped and inspired. And from your side, when you do what you love, you are like unstoppable. So it's super important that in life you try to find the things that spark joy in you, that will like light you up from the inside, because that is how you will continue to create this very magnetic energy that will help you to keep going, 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 going. And from the side of the non-energetic beings, you have manifestors that are a bit the fire starters. So they're really at the beginning of the chain. They are super, super creative beings. They're a bit like genius freaks. So this is Julie, for example, and I really sense that in her. She's like guiding us with very creative ideas. She has like the beginning of the process, and she will like give us the ideas, and then we are the ones a bit putting it into reality. Mm-hmm. So manifestors are very, very bold. They are a bit like, okay, let's do this. Nobody has done it before. I'm going to be the first one, and people will be inspired by that and jump into it. And then you have projectors. Projectors, I'm a projector, for example. So we are a bit the guides and the leaders in society. So we tend to really tune into people's energy. So we really are very good at analyzing people, at analyzing processes, at seeing how we can optimize our ways of working, how we can be more efficient in what we do. And we are very, very good at analyzing people and getting a bit into the energy of other people and reading the energies in the room. So we are a bit like the guides and the leaders. A lot of very, very inspiring political figures are projectors, for example, because they are very, very good at seeing the bigger picture, at seeing where people need to go, and guiding them into one path. And then reflectors are a bit the unicorns of our society. So they are very, very rare. And they basically don't really have a specific energy that they emit, but they are the mirrors of all other energy types. So if you are in front of a reflector, you will have the impression, for example, if Mike and Saya, you meet a reflector, you will have the impression that this reflector is a manifesting generator, because he will reflect your energy and will basically put a bit into light who you are. So it's people that are very, very good to learn from, because they will basically put light on things you're good at, on things you're not so good at, in a very like neutral way. And so it's very interesting to be to have someone that is a reflector in your life, because there's a lot of growth and learning through this person.
Okay, so they can match with everyone.
Yes. So basically in human design, there's not such thing as people that will perfectly match and people that won't match at all. So it's more having an awareness of the differences of people, and having understanding and empathy around that. Okay, Mike and Saya, you are manifesting generators, you operate in a specific way. I'm a projector, I operate in a specific way. And to see how can we best combine our energies to make it work. But so it's true, Mike, there will be some kind of reflectors will adapt. They will adapt to other energy types, while for example, both of you have already so much energy going in you. You have a very, very strong aura. So you will a bit impose that on others, but in a positive way. It's not like, but you will have a lot of, you will inspire others by your energy, while reflectors will just adapt to the others. So you're right in a way that it's, reflectors go very easily with others because they just adapt to others without having like their own energetic blueprint. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting. Like how all the different types, and for example, the category between the energetic types and the non-energetic. I was surprised to hear that the manifestor belongs to the non-energetic type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very, very good question. So manifestors have huge highs in the energy and then huge lows.
Okay.
So when you see a manifestor in the high of energy and the peak of energy, they are unstoppable. They are like, and that's something, for example, I see in Julie. When she's in her energetic high, I receive 15 messages in like 1 minute with ideas, and she's like, let's do that and let's do that. And behind her, when I have called there, she has a big billboard with all her ideas, and it goes like na na na, and she doesn't sleep a lot, and she's just like na na. And then we won't hear from her for 1 week. She's like on the couch, she's like, okay guys, I called. But that's the manifestor energy. It's like huge peaks and then huge lows. But actually it's in the low of the energy that they will recharge, and they will be able to have the energy again for the peak. And it's in the low phases that the creativity comes back in, because they are laying still. So the mind is open to receive the creativity again. But very true, for a lot of people, they tend to think that manifestors are part of the energetic beings, especially as manifesting generators are manifestors and generators in one, and they're energetic beings. So we tend to think that manifestors are also part of the energetic beings, but actually, no, because they have this ebbs and flow in their energy. So
Does
they
that
don't have this very consistent energy.
does that mean like as a manifesting generator, you also can have the ebbs and flows because of your manifesting side in you, or
So the you are very lucky as manifesting generators because you have the energy of the manifestors, so that kickstarts, that is at the beginning of the chain, that initiates, that has the energy and the ideas. And then you have, when you think you will be in this flow as a manifester, your generator energy kicks in. And generators are the doers of our society. They basically they have this very, very consistent energy if they do things they love. Otherwise, they can also drain. But so you have the initiator energy. So you can, for example, start a business because you have the idea, you have the resources, and then you have all the energy to make it happen and to make your business work on the long term because you have the generator energy. So that's why we tend to say that manifesting generators are superhumans or are unstoppable, because you have basically the two energies that you need to do everything on your own. You don't really need others if you do things like, if you are in your path, if you found your purpose, if you are doing things that light you up, you tend to just be unstoppable. And
the best of both worlds?
exactly, exactly. Is it something that you feel, Mike and Saya?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And say I can confirm.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
Yeah,
very good.
yeah. No, I also it also resonates with me, but
Mm.
I also experience times where I feel drained. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, very interesting.
But that could be maybe because she doesn't do what lights her up.
Exactly. Very, very well understood, Mike. So, um, all energy types, even if you're an energetic being, you can be prone to burnout or you can be super drained. And actually, often when I start sessions with my clients, I see a lot of energetic beings that are completely drained, because it means that indeed maybe in some areas of your life you are not aligned yet to who you truly are, or you tend off what often happens with generators and manifesting generators is that because you are capable to do so much, people rely on you. So a lot of people will come to you and say, Saya, can you do this for me? And you don't really want to do it, but you know you can. So you will say yes. And so a lot of generators and manifesting generators are people pleasers, tend to slowly drain themselves because they do things that actually they don't want to do or that are not in their zone of genius. And so they will slowly drain and burn out.
Mhm.
So what could be interesting is that based on the report, you see maybe where you tend to still not very tend to not be aligned, and try to see how you can move closer to that.
Yeah.
And one question that often generators and manifesting generators ask me is like, okay, but Celia, you tell me that we need to do things that lights that sparks joy in you. We need to do things that we like to do, but in life there's like admin, there is like taking care of things you don't want to take care of. So of course in life there's a balance to find. What is important is that at the end of the day, your balance in things that brought you joy is a bit higher than things that you had to do for yourself or for others to make things happen. And so what could be super good for you, Saya, is that you have like a joy list. So it's activities that can start from 5 minutes until 1 hour, and that really like give you so much energy, or that really like you love doing. So it can be just walking in nature, calling your best friend, dancing, cooking, doing some sports, like anything that you like doing. And as soon as you feel a bit drained, try to go back to this list and tick at least one thing of this list to help you get back into your energetic flow and get back into this sunshine and magnetic energy you have. So
That's a great tip, actually. I'm gonna write that down. Thanks.
yeah, the joy list. Yeah.
Yeah, joy list. That's amazing. Nice. Super. Yeah, no, it definitely resonates, like the manifesting generator, but also the different things that because for reference for the listeners, Celia made us our human design chart, or she sent us our report. And it's like 35 pages long. It's like really in depth, amazing. And I think for both Mike and me, a lot resonated. Starting with the energy type, of course, but also the gates. I think we both
Nice.
a
Yeah,
lot of.
most of the things indeed can
That's
resonate
very,
with.
very good. It means that you're already very aligned. So congratulations. It's very good.
Things.
Very, very good. No, it's good.
Yeah, so maybe we can go a little bit in depth around our reports.
Yeah.
I don't know how you usually or what you're thinking, which way we should go first.
Yes. So maybe what we could, how we could move into it is what I usually do is that I start with the energy type and I start with the profile, which is basically your personality. So it's the two numbers you have. And which is interesting in your case is that you have both of you the number 6 in your personality, which is the role model. And I really, really like this line in human design, because it's basically people that are super, super inspiring. So without really talking yet, when you enter a room, people will be very drawn to you because you have a very, very wise energy. But what is interesting is that the 6 has a bit different stages in life. So you are both still under 30, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm 31.
31. Okay, very good. Just turned 31. Okay. So it's actually you are in, and so you are both a bit at the end of your first stage in life. So the 6 is the only personality type that has like different stages in life. And in the first stage of your life, so in the approximately first 30 years, you are all about experimenting. So you are very in a bit chaotic, messy time of your life where you will a bit have a lot of trial and error. So you will try a lot of things out. You won't really learn by the books or by having advice from others. You need to get out there, to get your hands dirty and to experiment from yourself different things in life. And this is how you will actually get a bit your wiseness, because you will say, okay, this is for me, this is not for me. Oh my God, this was a super, super chaotic. Let's move it along and let's move it aside. And that's actually how you will inspire people, because you will be the ones like getting out there, experimenting, learning from it and coming back and a bit then telling people about what you learned. And this is what you have both. So I think for now, I would be curious afterwards that you tell me how you feel about that. Because, for example, in your business, maybe you had a lot of trial and error where you tried things, it didn't really work out, you tried something else. And this is a bit how you found your path. And this is also for your private life. And then slowly in the second and the third stage of your life, so from 30 to 50 and from 50 until the end of your life, you will integrate all the experiments, all the knowledge, and you will slowly become this super, super wise person. And you will really convey your knowledge to people. But that only comes a bit in a later stage of your life. And then you, Saya, and I think actually your personalities are great for your business. So you will see. So this role model, this 6 as a role model, it's really great because you will also give a lot to the people you are working with and to your clients, to your audience, because this role model is super, super attractive, basically, because you have a lot of wisdom to share with people. And then, Saya, you have a 4. So the people who have a 4 in their personality are very, very good networkers, but in a very positive way. You are very, very good with creating closeness with people. So with creating very easily relationships with people. When you are at an event where you know nobody, usually at the end of the event, you know everybody. So it's really like you're like chatting with everyone, and you are very easy in relationships. And relationships are super, super important for you. It's basically what will dictate a bit your life. So the quality of your life is based on the quality of your relationships. And often your work, or even in your private life, everything works with connections. So you will find your next client because, for example, you found me because you knew Julie and Steven. Or even oftentimes your romantic partner is someone you know. It's not someone you will probably meet on a dating app. It's most probably someone that is connected to someone else in your circle, because you are a bit more reassured. That's how it works best for you. And you, Mike, you have a 2. So the 2 is called the hermit or the guru. So you have talents that you can't really explain how you have them. So you don't really need to learn a lot something. You just have natural strengths, natural talents, and you are naturally good at things without you needing to really dive into things very deeply. And you also tend to need some time alone. So that's maybe sometimes a bit difficult to find this balance between being a manifesting generator, where you have this energy going, and at the same time having in 2 in your profile, where you need some time alone. So to recharge, to be a bit in your zone, to perfect a bit some things you're working on. And sometimes you tend to be a bit like being around too many people for too long can be a bit exhausting for you. From time to time, you're a bit like, guys, I need to be alone this weekend. I need to a bit recharge. It was very nice to be around Saya, who always wants to be around people. Now I need to be a bit in my thing. Exactly. So how do you feel about that? How does it resonate with both of you?
Yeah, for me it resonates a lot actually. I think it's been all my life like this, that opportunities for me come through other people. It's really,
Nice.
yeah, all of the time that people send me stuff or tell me like, hey, this is something for you, or then I meet a person and then through that person I meet someone else who I can work with or play with or do something with. So yeah, it resonates a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think I can 100% resonate with all that you say, because it's like yeah, I like to do things. I like to drive. I get energy from creating things. And
Yeah.
also the interesting thing is that in the beginning you said that that we inspire people,
Yeah.
but I never had that feeling that I inspire people. The other people around me always say, "Oh yeah, yeah, you inspire people and you give me good ideas." Also, Saya also is always telling me that, but I don't see myself that way. But
Yes.
that's the interesting thing.
Yes. And that's most probably your 2, because you tend to have this natural gifts in you, but as you didn't work for them, like as it's naturally in you, you don't see the potential of them. But others will, because others will see that you have this very easy genius side of you without like forcing things or without. And the 6-2 is really the role model. So the more you will progress in life, the more you will become this inspiration. For example, Barack Obama is a 6-2.
Oh, wow.
It's this very like, he has this personality where people are like, wow, we want to follow him. He has so much wisdom. He's such a big inspiration. And also, maybe you, both of you, and that works for both of you, as for this first stage of your life, you have been a bit like in this messy, chaotic trial and error phase. You don't see yet your potential because you have the impression your life is super messy. It's all over the place. You're like, oh my God, how can I be inspiring? Like, I tried so many things. There are a lot of, I did so many errors in my life. There was a lot of failures, but actually, that's what people by, are inspired by you. And that's what they are looking for in you because you have so much more experience than a lot of people that just stayed at home and stayed in their comfort zone and waited for things to happen. Like they were in this form of security. Like, so it can be, I think, your 2 and your first stage of life with this energy of the 6 that is a bit like experimenting and gathering a lot of knowledge through this different experience. So
Yeah, because a lot of times I don't even know what I'm doing. And then after that, people tell me, oh, you really helped me a lot. Oh, yeah, I've got so much inspiration. And I'm thinking, what did I do?
that's perfect, Nike. That's perfect. You're in your lane.
Yeah, I have the same feeling actually. Like often I help people or they tell me you helped me a lot, and I was like, I have no idea what I just did, but I'm glad it worked.
Okay,
Um,
very good.
but I think like the 6 it's what we talked a little bit about
Yeah,
last episode with Steven and Julie as well, because that I already knew from a
yeah,
previous reading. Well, it
yeah,
was just a friend who helped me read my
yeah,
chart, but
yeah,
still this was clear to me,
yeah,
and it actually helped me a lot to realize the 6 because I have always felt really bad about it, like in this
yeah.
society. Especially if you see people around you who have like very stable jobs or very stable
Mm,
relationships, very
mm,
stable living places. And I was always like just and still am going from one place to another. And like this time a year I'm doing this job, but probably next year I'm doing a completely different job.
yeah.
So yeah, then often you start feeling really bad about yourself, like, oh my
Mm,
God, what is wrong with me?
yeah.
But once I saw the 6 in my chart, it really calmed me down a little bit. And
Yes.
sometimes it's still a challenge though, but I'm really happy to know that okay, this is just how I need to operate right now, and it actually means that I'm in alignment with the first stage of my life.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's indeed the 6, and it's also simply the manifesting generator energy. And what is actually very beautiful for manifesting generators is that the less they feel guilt and shame around who they are, the less people will question them.
Mm.
So you will see that the more you will be confident and just doing things differently in a non-linear way, like basically a manifesting generator, if you have point A and point B, like you will both go to E to F, like then back to A and then finish to B.
Yeah.
But that is how also you will be an inspiration for people because you will think out of the box and you will help people say, okay, actually, there are other ways that are possible. And it will actually open up the minds of people and also give them the possibility to do things differently. So we really need manifesting generators because you really help us also get out of our comfort zones and see things differently and say, okay, it's possible to not just have one path and do one thing the way like everyone is supposed to do it and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
So yeah, you will slowly, but Saya, it will slowly also um, calm a bit down this energy you have at the moment of not really settling down and everything. It will slowly come in the next couple of years. And oftentimes it's very like soothing for people that have a 6, because they're like, okay, I'm now in a stage where it's a bit more. So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, because I was wondering, like, the other types, for example, your type, you're a projector, right?
Yeah.
Um, how does it go for you? Do you always go from A to B to C to D?
Mm. Um, so yes, a bit more. A bit
Okay.
more. Projectors are a bit more consistent in what they do. It's very different. Like projectors, we just see how we can optimize things. So when we see a process, when we see a way of working, we are like, but why are we doing it like that if we can do it in a shorter amount of time, or with less resources, or with less money, or like so we are very, very good at pinpointing what is not working properly yet, and how we can make it a bit more smooth and efficient. And because we don't have this consistent energy, so we need to find ways to work a bit more efficiently. So typically projectors are very, very good, would be very, very happy if we would only work 4 hours a day and 4 days a week. And the rest of the time we are just like recharging, observing, analyzing, like, yeah. So
And
it's true that
what does that mean, like, for the other energy types? Because you just said, like, yeah, for projectors it would be great to work less than society
yeah,
prescribes us.
yeah,
Does that mean, like, the energetic types, like the generators and the manifesting generators, they do function well in how society
yes,
prescribes how many hours we
yes,
need to work a day, or?
yes. Also very, very good way of thinking. So um, our society works very, very well on for manifesting generators and for generators, because we are in a society where productivity is very, very important. We have a bit this American model, of working, working, working to be successful, to have money, to have the freedom we want. And so energetic beings work very well in that system, because they can have this energy. And non-energetic beings, often they are very conditioned. For example, I operated like a generator and a manifesting generator for nearly all my life, because I thought that this is what would make me successful. And I had the pressure from the people around me. For example, in my family, my parents are manifesting generators, are generators. My brother is a manifesting generator. So I was like, okay, I need to be like that, to be able to be productive and to reach success. And actually, that and for a lot of non-energetic beings, they tend to operate like generators and manifesting generators, when actually they are not supposed to do it. So that is how they will slowly burn out and drain and be super frustrated, because they sense something is not working. It's not who they are, but they think that this is what will lead them to success. And so for me, for example, it was very, very liberating to discover that I was a projector operating differently, but I'm still in the deconditioning phase. I still call myself, for example, my boyfriend is a manifesting generator. So when I see him working for hours and hours and hours, I'm like, okay, I need also to do like to be the same. And then I'm like, no, lay back, be unproductive. You can do things in different ways. Like, but it's a learning. It's a learning and progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially in this society, because, like, for a part it resonates, because I feel like when I'm on, and I can also
Yeah.
go for hours, but I also resonate a lot with what you say. Like,
Mm.
I would, if I could choose, I would only work 4 hours a day for 4 weeks.
Yes. Yes. And actually, you can. That is what is nice. And that is why projectors will be very important in the next couple of years, because we will help energetic beings to be more efficient and to free up space to do things that really light you up and to have this joyful way of working. And so we are slowly shifting from one model to another, and that's something I'm also very fascinated about, and I want to dive deeper into that with my clients, because we will shift into completely new ways of working, new ways of leading teams. And that's why, for example, at the moment, I don't know if you noticed, but the corporate world in the classical traditional way is a bit crumbling down at the moment. It's not working anymore. And we will slowly shift. It's because we are shifting into a new way of working. And actually, in the future, we will be way more efficient. And therefore, we won't have this super long 9 to 5 jobs and still like working at home while the kids are sleeping and doing all the time. It will be way more balanced and efficient. So yeah, it's normal that you tend to feel it as well. Also because you have some manifestor energy, so there is also a bit this ebb and flow. And if you are not aligned on some things, that's also what drains you. So yeah.
But that sounds very good. That sounds like a future I'm looking forward to.
Keeping you posted when I found the different strategies. I will let you know how to do it.
Great, great.
Okay. So you wanted to talk about your gates. Sorry, we talked about personality. Now, if you want, maybe that you tell me in your different gates. So your gates are basically your natural strengths. And you had some similarities, huh? You had some gates that were the same as well, which is quite rare. Can it be the adventure channel? No?
Wait, are we looking at the channels or the gates?
Basically, I prefer to work with gates because with channels, sorry, because channels are two gates that are meeting in the middle. And so you have a very, very consistent, strong strength around it. People sense that very strongly in you, stronger than only gates.
Yeah, I see here gate 35, gate 36.
Yeah, the channel
channel
of adventure. You have it both, I think, huh? If I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, which surprises me though.
Why? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because I'm curious about how it resonates with Mike, because we've talked about this before. Like Mike has like a background in he knows a lot about the physics and about the human body and anatomy and biology. And me, I know a lot about psychology. And we've talked about it before that like me, of course, for my job as well, like I know how to deal with emotions and when people are in crisis and stuff. But Mike has already told me a few times before that he doesn't know what to do when people are like becoming very emotional and are in crisis. Then he's like, I don't know how to comfort them.
Okay. Okay, very interesting, Mike, because your purpose is around emotions.
I know, I saw it. That's why I was like,
okay,
that's going to be difficult.
Okay.
But I think that is still something that I need to learn through experience.
Yes. And also, we tend to say that our purpose really, really kicks in and makes sense for us at the age of 40, from the age of 40.
Oh, 9
Before
years.
that, before that, we are still a bit in the phase where we understand some part of it, but we are not there. We don't have the maturity yet to really like integrate it and live it like, so, and it really depends also on the internal work you do and the deconditioning and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, also, like, for example, my brother also has a lot of emotional channels in his human design chart. And I was telling him the same. I was like, but you're always so controlled, and you know, he doesn't show any emotions, while I'm like, woo, like I'm an emotional roller coaster. And I'm like, how, like, why? And he was like, yeah, well, when I grew up, I had this very emotional side, but I shut it down because people were telling me, like, no, you need to toughen up, don't show your emotions, it's a weakness. And so he a bit like bottled it up. And today he has a lot of challenges to just leave his emotions and let it out, and live the emotions like he wants to. So it can also be some kind of deconditioning, Mike, based on how you grew up, on what you heard, on the models you had. But yeah, it's true that basically you have a lot of emotion, like emotional channels in your chart. So okay, very funny that you don't. But I mean, now what is important is just have the awareness around it, have the curiosity, you know, it's there, and just see what happens. You don't need to push anything. It will kick in when you're ready to receive it, basically. So that's what I also like in human design, is you don't need to push anything. Like, take what resonates today and leave the rest, and you will come back in a couple of months, in a couple of years, and other things will make sense that didn't today, because you evolved and you grew, and you will just say, okay, now I understand it. So
Yeah.
and but other than that, were some channels that really resonated for both of you?
I
Yeah.
think the gate 34, like the energy of multitasking.
Yes, this is very, very powerful in business. This is a
Yeah.
channel that is amazing for business. Yeah.
Yeah, I really have that one indeed.
Okay, very nice.
But like I feel when I'm doing a lot, when I'm multitasking and
Yeah.
doing a lot of
Yeah.
things I like, then I'm really thriving and I'm really getting that energy. Like
Right.
because if I'm doing something I don't really like or don't really resonate me, it's draining
Yes.
me.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
and
good.
then you just can't keep going. Like
Yeah.
I've always felt like that ever since I was a child. If I have to do something that doesn't resonate, then I
Mm.
just can't do it. I literally can't. Like I was telling a friend yesterday that I can't even imagine getting a bachelor's or a master's degree in a study that my parents would want me to do, and not in something that I would want to do, because some
Mhm.
people really can get a degree or do a
Yes.
job for years and years and years that doesn't even resonate with what they want but what other people want, and I
Yes.
could not ever do it. Like I really need to be busy with different kinds of things that I like and not just one thing, because that also drains me. If I keep
Very good.
doing only one thing that I like, then I eventually start to dislike it because I
Very,
have
very good.
different things. Yeah.
Very good that you both are. That's very positive, because it means you are very aligned with how you are supposed to operate. So amazing that you already noticed that, and that you cultivate this side of you. That's great. Great, great, great. And yeah, so this channel of power, this one, if it's well used, like the charisma linked to this multitasking energy, it makes you unstoppable in business. It's very, very, yeah, it's amazing to have it. I love this channel.
Oh wow, it's great that we both have it. So the
It's
1%
really
is going
so.
places.
So, what is very, very interesting is that you can combine two charts together to see where you have similarities, where you are different. And actually, when you have the same channels, for example, it means that you have a lot of understanding for each other, but you can also tend to maybe feel a bit challenged by the other, because you have like even if you have the same channel, you maybe have different ways of expressing it in your daily life. And so maybe you have a slightly different way, Mike, to express this way of doing things, like having this charisma and multitasking and being a bit this power machine than Saya. And so maybe you will feel that there's some kind of harmony, but also that sometimes it's a bit difficult to see, okay, what is my energy and what is your energy? Do you feel that a bit or not from time to time?
Yeah, me, I do. I don't know how
Okay.
my resonates with
Very
it, but I
good.
definitely
Okay.
do.
I don't think I have much problems with it, but I like to hear.
Yeah, no, I do feel like I feel like I can also be a powerhouse, and maybe it's also that what I feel like sometimes I feel a little bit drained, so maybe that's
Yes.
also that gets in the way a little bit.
Yes.
But I feel like Mike, and I've said this before in other podcasts, Mike is very structured. Like he can
Yes.
really go like it does feel sometimes that he goes from A to B to C, but
Okay.
he's not really going from A to B to
Okay.
C. But in
Okay.
his days, it seems very,
Okay.
very structured, very
Yeah.
he seems very steady, you know,
Yes.
doing all the
Yes.
multitasking. While as for me, I also do the multitasking. I can get a lot of things done, but it's much more like this.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
I see. Very interesting. Attends, I'm just checking. What could maybe explain it? No, you both have the emotional center that is colored in. Okay, very interesting. Because what also happened is basically when you are with someone else, you tend to amplify the energy of the other person. So, for example, now I'm sitting with both of you. So I tend to amplify your manifesting generator energy or your channel of power because I'm like drawn to that and I don't have it myself, but I'm like amplifying it when I'm with you. As soon as I'm not with you, I will tend to go back into my own energy and strength and blah, blah, blah. And so what might happen is that Mike is a bit conditioned about this emotional side of him. So he contains it a bit. He's not like really expressing it. But you, Saya, amplify this emotional side of him because you feel it in him when you're next to him. And this is maybe why you tend to feel this very high emotional roller coaster because you have it in you and you also amplify the one of Mike. So you're like a double emotional being when you're around Mike. So that could explain that maybe you have this very strong emotional roller coasters.
So Saya is actually my emotional side.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
You
Write it
have
down, Saya.
and no, it's true. And you both have it. And it's actually also how you are supposed to make decisions. And that's a super important one. You both have an emotional authority. So it means you are supposed to be in tune with your emotions to make decisions. And it's super important that you are in some kind of emotional neutrality. So not super, super excited. Like, for example, if now I suggest like, oh, I heard about this amazing event, like, let's all go together. We just had a super good session, the three of us together. You are like pumped, you have a lot of energy and you're like, yes, let's do it. But then 24 hours later, you're like, oh no, actually, I don't want to do it at all. And because you tend to have highs in your emotions and lows in your emotions. This is a bit who you are, both of you, and it's okay. So it means that you can wake up a bit moody without knowing why, for no specific reason, or the next day be super, super joyful and you can't really explain why. And so what is important for making decisions is that you wait a bit, like 24 hours, 48 hours before making a decision to be in some kind of neutrality of your emotions. So not in a high of emotions or not in a low. where you will tend to say no because you're not very motivated, you're a bit moody, you're a bit sad, a bit angry. And so this is actually quite important for both of you, because it means that take some time before making decisions. And especially as generators and manifesting generators, you have a very, very strong gut feeling. And the gut feeling will tend to, when I propose something, you will want to respond directly. But not as emotional, as an emotional authority, you need to step back, let your gut feeling pass, like calm down, and then make your decision. Is it something that you tend to do already in your life or not?
Yes,
Most of the
for
time,
me,
yes.
yeah, most
Yeah,
of the
very
time.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Perfect. Very,
Yeah.
very good. Okay.
Yeah, and so that like I understand that like not for every type that's the case. Not everyone needs
No.
to listen to their gut feeling. It's
Yeah.
a different kind of intuition that they need to listen to,
Yeah.
or
So it is a bit, it's not all manifesting generators, for example, have an emotional authority. It depends. So, for example, I also have an emotional authority and I'm a projector. So it really depends on, it is not directly linked to your energy type.
okay.
There are some authorities that are linked to your energy type. But for example, the emotional authority, everyone can have it, basically. All energy type can have it. And actually 50% of population, 50% of the population has emotional authority.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the other authorities people can?
Gut feeling. So this is only for generators and manifesting generators. So it's really this instant kick, like you directly know what if you want something or not. Then you have intuition. This one is for projectors only, if they have it. And then you have ego authority. So it's a bit listening to your heart. It's a bit like a very also, you just know what you want and you go for it. And then you have very rare ones. It's like, for example, reflectors, they need to wait for very important decisions. They need to wait like a whole month before making a decision.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Super, super long. Yeah.
every decision.
Because
For very important decisions, like big decisions, like big life or business decisions, for example, moving somewhere or taking another job, or yeah, they should ideally wait 1 month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and
how does that work? For instance, like people who are in a relationship who needs to make big decisions.
Very good. So this is also a very, very good questions, because, for example, a reflector that needs to wait, or for example, in your case, you need to wait a bit. You need to wait at least like 1 day, ideally 2-3 days before making a decision, depending on the level of importance of the decision. And let's say, Mike and Saya, you are in a relationship with someone that has as an authority gut feeling or intuition. So it's something that comes directly, even before even before someone needs to take the decisions, there's a little voice telling them like no or yes. And so this is very important when you need to make decisions, the both of you together. It's to basically use both to discuss it. So what I do, for example, what I actually, it's great when you have another person that has another way of making decisions, because it helps you a bit in the process. For example, my boyfriend has a gut feeling so when I propose him, do you want to do that or do you want to do that, he directly knows. It's like he doesn't need to think about it. It's super irrational, like he knows. I need more time. So what I do is that I first ask my boyfriend, I'm like, what do you think about this decision? What would you do in the moment? And then I tune into my energy and I say, okay, I will wait a bit how it sits with me. And then after one day, I come back to him and I say, this is my answer, or this is what I would do. And oftentimes we have the same. The answer is the same. It's just different timings. And he helps me a bit in my decision process. So it's actually very nice to have another person that has another authority. In your case, what is good is that you have a lot of harmony around it. You don't need to wait for the other one to make a decision. Your decision making would kick in at the same time and in the same stage a bit. So it's very nice. I think in your case, making decisions is quite easy and it's quite harmonious, no? For both
Yeah.
of you in
Oh,
your
for the both
business?
of us, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, especially according to the when we need to take decisions around the business and
Yeah,
around the podcast, it goes quite quickly, no?
Yeah,
nice,
because when we talk about it, we understand each other and we're like, oh yeah, okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
nice, very good. Yeah.
great.
Okay, I'm just looking at the time. So if you want one last important questions before we go to the last one, for example, purpose with human
Yes,
design. I know this was a
exactly,
topic.
exactly. The link between human design and purpose, because there's also a part of it in the reports around
Yes,
purpose and what is
yes,
it and how can human design help you
yes.
live more according to your purpose.
So, for in human design, you have approximately 200 different combinations for a purpose. So it's very rare to have the same purpose as someone else. And basically, to find your purpose, thanks to human design, you have different aspects of your charts you can look at. So, of course, you have the most evident one, that is your incarnation cross. So, this is basically what is supposed to be your purpose in human design. And but then you not just use that to find your purpose, because there are different in life. There's not just one thing that is going to be your purpose. It's different things you are going to align with that is going to help you find your purpose. So you look at your energy type, you look at your personality, you look at your strength, you look at your energy centers, and then you look at purpose. So it's a bit 5 elements you look at, and that I prepare for my clients to help them really have a complete overview of what their purpose is, and also help them really integrate it in a very easy and practical, pragmatic way. Because what often happens with purpose is that when you read it, you don't really get it. It's a bit, I would be curious to see, Mike and Saya, how you felt with, so in the last pages of your report, is your purpose. And oftentimes it's it's quite vague, in a sense that it's like an underlying frequency of your life. And so depending on where you are in your life, it's quite challenging to understand it right away and to be able to integrate it and to use it in your daily life. So this is why I also work with other elements of your charts, as I've prepared for you. So energy type, strengths, energy centers, and purpose, to really help you have a bigger picture of what your purpose is, to slowly integrate this knowledge and to align to it. But there's not really a work to do, and it won't like happen from day to night. Like you read your chart today and tomorrow you have your purpose, and the day after tomorrow you're fully in and prepared and it's done. It takes years basically to align to your purpose and to use it properly, and to really be aware of it. So what is important for me is that my clients have the knowledge around it, and then that they develop the awareness, the consciousness on how to align to their purpose based on their human design analysis and their report. And that is basically how it will slowly kick in. But in human design, most of people tend to say, as I already told you, that the purpose is really going to kick in by the age of 40 only. And that before that, we are here to experiment, to just learn, to see who we are, to leave things behind, to meet the right people, to so this is why for a lot of people, purpose is not the most important part in a human design chart. For me, it is, because the day I understood my purpose and the day I discovered human design, it finally clicked for me. Like, for the first time in my life, I understood who I was and why I was operating differently than others. And it was super, super liberating for me, because I was like, wow, okay. I was always questioning a bit, like, why am I on earth? Like, what is the meaning of life? Why, like, what am I supposed to add to people? Like, what am I here for? How can I benefit from these couple of years I'm having on earth, and how can I add value to people's lives? So for me, it was a very important topic. And once I also did it on my loved ones, like my inner circle, my friends, my family, my colleagues, I was like, oh, actually, it's so transformative also for people. And for me, it opens the eyes on a lot of things, to at least have your purpose in back of your head. It's not the most important thing. I think if you want to start with something in human design, it's better to start with energy type, with personality, with how you're supposed to make decisions, because this is what is you can easily put in place. Like today, you can start today, and it will give you directly results. And once you have these first steps, you can dive into your purpose. But I love for people to have it already in back of their head, because it basically already helps them slowly, unconsciously align to their purpose with the other elements of the human design chart, because everything is linked together. Basically, the purpose is based on your strengths. It's linked to the gates and the channels of your chart. So everything is linked. And the gates and the channels are linked to your energy centers. And your energy centers are linked to your energy type. So it's, so that's why we need to go through the different stages to come to the purpose a bit in the end. But everything will basically make sense of at some point, and that's when the magic happens. It's when you're like, okay, now it's flowing, now everything makes sense and everything goes together. And oftentimes, without us knowing, we are already aligned to our purpose. In some way, we already use our purpose in our business, in our life, in our relationships. And so it just gives you the little kick to say, okay, I'm on the right path. This is my purpose is at the end of the process. I'm here and I need to just align slowly, but there's not really a work around it. And that's what I love in human design. It's have the awareness and the consciousness around it, and then just let things happen and let things integrate. So it's a very smooth process, and that's what I love about it. You don't need to change who you are to align to your true self or to align to your purpose. Everything is here. It's just, it has been a bit shut down because you have been conditioned. You wanted to fit in, you wanted to be accepted by society, by your loved ones. So you tend to change a bit who you are, and you tend then to lose a bit your purpose and your true self. And human design just helps you come back home, and it helps you just validate your inner knowing, actually everything you knew all the time, but that was a bit sleeping in you, and you just open the doors to make it shine again. So yeah,
that's beautifully said.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, and I think it resonates a lot, and it's amazing, like that you say, like you need to take first the small steps and
Yes,
start taking all of the little things in your chart and start aligning with that, and the things that you actually already felt but might be deconditioned, just try to bring that back up, and then slowly your purpose will unfold itself, you know. That's
exactly.
then every puzzle piece falls together, you know. Yeah.
Exactly. Very well summarized. Thank you very much. Because I was talking.
No, yeah, you made
Thank
a lot
you.
of
You
sense.
made it.
Yeah, no, you made a lot of sense. And I think it's a beautiful link to our final question.
Yeah.
What are some of the small steps that people can take to live more according to their human design?
Yes. So, if there's one thing people need to remember and look at in their charts, it's what is called the authority in human design. So, it's our way of making decisions. And this is basically, to start with, the only thing you need to remember. Because if you start implementing the right way of making decisions, everything will slowly fall into place. Because by making the right decisions, you will move closer to who you are, you will embrace who you are, and you will also gain more confidence. And you will attract the right opportunities and the right people into your life. And this is how slowly the path is going to like open up, and it's a bit a lane. And so that is why, if there's only one thing to remember, is your authority / your way of making decisions. So have a look at that in your human design chart for people if they want to start with human design, because at first human design is super complicated. You don't understand anything. So that's why also my purpose was to make it as simple as possible for people. I spend a lot of time like changing a bit the words to make it easy, and try to find a way to really make it very pragmatical and practical for people to implement. And so, yeah, your way of making decision, and start implementing it. Start with small decisions. Like, for example, do you want to eat sushi or do you want to eat Italian? And just start with that. Play a bit with your authority with very small, not so important decisions, and then slowly go into bigger decisions, and it will actually really help you move closer to who you are and move closer to your purpose.
Wow, amazing. That's a great tip, and a really small step to begin with. So that's
Yes, 1%.
yes, 1%. Amazing. Super. Thank you, Celia, so much for all of your input. And I think the way you communicate about human design, the way you talk about it, is also very understandable. Like it's really you. Yeah, your information is very to the point and very pragmatic, and very. I think people will really resonate with this. So yeah, you're doing a
Thank
great
you so
job.
much. Thank you so much. And
So,
Saya and Mike, it was really my pleasure. So thank you for, yeah, thinking about me for this podcast. And honestly, based on your human design charts, you're going to skyrocket, huh? So continue on your lane, and you're going to do amazing. So very looking forward to seeing you evolve and be super successful in your business.
thank you. We
Thank
have
you so
one more
much.
important thing, and that
Yes.
is, where can people find you?
Yes. So I have an Instagram account. We can link it maybe under the post you are going to do. And they can find me on LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
Exactly. Those are the two main channels. And otherwise, I have a classical website for people also to book their sessions with me, and to have a bit more information about what I do, what my offers are. Exactly.
Great. And you're also featured on the This Is Yaya website, I think, as well. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. very good point. Yeah, also part of This is JAJA, and I think Julie and Steven already talked about it a
Yes.
lot, the Purpose Academy. But yeah, this is the course that is going to start in November, and 4 of us in this course. So maybe you can ask Jonathan for a podcast. He's
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. We
And yeah, very excited about that as well. So yeah, you can also find me through This is JAJA.
Oh, okay, super. We will definitely link everything in the show notes so people can just
Yes.
click through. So great.
Perfect. And you did a very good job in English. I mean, you can continue in English. You have a very, very good English. Better than mine. So very good.
1% goes international.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, guys,
Thank you
have
so
a
much for your
wonderful
time.
day. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
You too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Bye.